let's see this. All right, we'll go again. We're talking about knowing thyself, right? And all of these quotes here are in my blog. I have about 8 to 12 blogs on this topic. So what I've already dropped the first one on the Facebook. And if you just go to the first one, it will link you to all the others, right? I have about 12 articles on this. And it's all about trying to know yourself, right? And you find the first quote there, knowing yourself is the beginning of wisdom, right? It's not knowing other people. It's not knowing Akin. It's not even knowing God. The knowledge of God is not necessarily the beginning of wisdom. It's the knowledge of yourself. Because until you know yourself, you cannot know God. I know that is difficult to take in, but until you know yourself, you cannot truly know God, right? And Ralph talks about it, that when I discover who I am, then I'm free. Is what we've been talking about, owning yourself, owning your spirit, owning your soul, owning your body, right? Being sober is a place of sobriety, right? Is that place when you know yourself, then you're able to control yourself. Yourself is not controlling you. John also has another quote. He says that what we call faith, right, is what is our consciousness, right, directing us. Then we call it faith. You see, we think it's God, but it's not God. It's what has been stored in your subconscious mind that is directing you, and you think it's faith. It's not faith. You can change it. What is directing your life if you don't control it is the stories, the events, your past, your failures, right? Those things get stored in your subconscious mind and will control you unless you know them and you begin to change them, right? Because all your past has formed what we call neuropaths, right? Neuropathic. How do we say that? It's it's pathways in your brain. They have been worn out. They have been drawn so much that they will be the path of least resistance, and your subconscious mind will go the path of least resistance that has been created before in your brain, right? Irrespective of what you want to do, unless you are aware of it, right? We call it faith, but it's not of God. It's what has been stored in our mind that our subconscious mind is bringing to being, unless we are aware of it. And I think that's my 20 minutes. So I'm going to stop here. Toba is going to finish it, next week, whether this or his own. But I'm open for questions. Any questions on that? Was there something? Someone put something, right? Chidi, help me read. Is there anything on the chat?
Just with what you were saying, neurological pathways.
Yeah, any question on that? Is there a question or a statement? I can continue if nobody has a question. Is there a question on it?
Sorry, what's the neurological pathway talking about, please?
Oh, all right. What is neurological pathway talking about? All right. In your brain, another word for it is called habit. You know what habit is, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Habit is a synonym for it, right? They are talking about the same thing. When you do something so often, repeatedly, right? You do the same thing over and over again. It gets stored up in your subconscious mind, right? It becomes to be the normal. So when we talk about neurological pathway, where we're trying to create a picture to show you where a path that's worn out, that you have created that path so often that it becomes your normal in your brain. That whenever you do something, so when we talk about that, just like in habit, you have something that prompts it, and you have something that is looking for as a reward. You get that? There are 3 parts when you talk about habit. Is a prompter, steps, looking for a reward, right? So those steps have been the normal in your brain. They are like a road. You have just created that road. Anytime you see something that will prompt that kind of behavior, that is the path it will go, right? Do you understand that now? I'm trying to save time. Do you understand that? Toba, am I clear now?
Yes. Thanks.
All right. I'll also I'll go back to the Facebook and write that down also. Any other question? If there's no question, I can continue. I'm trying to finish what I
Yes. Please, I still wanted to expatiate on that issue, that statement you made
Which one?
on knowledge of yourself and knowledge of God.
Of God. All right.
I need us to reconcile those two, please.
Yeah, all right. Great. If you don't know yourself, then you are not in control of yourself. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you don't know yourself, you are not in control of yourself. The things that are controlling you are the things that have happened to you on your pathway up to that point in time. Do you agree on that?
Yes.
Just like neurological, the neural pathway I spoke about. If you have been abused, if you grew up being abused, you will always respond to being abused. That's why people call themselves, oh, I'm a lesbian. It's because they have not taken control of the events of their past. So they are reacting instead of responding. Do you get that?
Responding.
They are reacting to the events of their life instead of responding. Responding means that I evaluate it and I only take from it what empowers me, not what disempowers me. Do you get that?
Yes, sir.
All right. So when I come to God, I must have something I'm giving to God. If I don't have my life, then I can't give my life to him.
Okay.
You get that?
Okay.
If I don't have what to give to him, then there's nothing to give to him. You get that?
It's clear, yeah.
Yeah. So what I don't know that I'm struggling with kind of blinds me from the knowledge of God. Do you get that?
Yeah.
All right, great. Any other question before I see how much of this I can still do? I can't read the chat, so someone needs to read for me. Is there any other question? All right, I'm going to go ahead. All right. So, Dan, who is a clothes manufacturer billionaire, talks about the sooner you become your best friend, the better your life will be. See, that's very important, and that's why all these ignorant people on some pulpits who preach some stupid messages, make me cry. Instead of them to press into God to know, they just preach their own failures. Yourself is your worst enemy. But it's not just your worst enemy, he's your best friend. You cannot do anything without yourself. That is where everything about you is stored. Your strength, you have everything. God gave you everything to win in this life. Everything you need is inside you. You just have to discover it. You don't need a second person. You don't need your pastor. You don't need your imam. You don't need your bishop. Once you're of age, you don't need anybody whatsoever to make it in this life. The only person you need is yourself. I can almost say you don't need God, because God has already given you everything you need, whether you are born again or not born again. You have everything you need to make it in this life. If only you can discover it. Yes, your history, your story, your flesh is standing in your way. It is your worst enemy from that angle. But your mind, your ability to understand, your ability to control your emotions, your ability to decide is the greatest blessing God Almighty has ever given to you, if only you know how to use it. So the greatest pursuit in life is knowing yourself, knowing what God has endowed you with, knowing the pathway He has endowed you with. That is the secret to making it in life. For as long as you don't know yourself, you cannot make it in life. Because you will take 2 steps forward, your subconscious mind will take you back 4 steps. So I'm going to hear him talking about the subconscious mind. I don't know how many of you know about the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind, not just your mind, is your greatest army. And those who know it are using it against you. Witchcraft does not target your conscious mind. Witchcraft targets your subconscious mind. Do you know why? Your subconscious mind is a dummy. It has power, but it's a dummy. It will take anything that reaches it. If you say that a man is a woman and you let that message reach your subconscious mind, Your subconscious mind says it's true. I am a woman. And will begin to do everything to justify that message. Because your subconscious mind was made to be a dummy, right? That is why when you get born, your subconscious mind is already there. What is not necessarily there when you get born is what we call the conscious mind, right? Your conscious mind begins to develop, and by age 5 to 7 thereabout, is probably fully formed, right? There's a physical representation of that in the brain. What's that called again? Or what's that name? The name frontal is a frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is the physical representation of what we call the conscious mind. Don't forget the mind itself is metaphysical. It's not physical. But the frontal lobe in the brain is a representation of what we call the conscious mind. And what it is a gate. It's a gate. It determines what gets to the subconscious mind and what does not get to the subconscious mind, right? It's just about 5% of your mind, right? The biggest part of your mind, about 95%, is your subconscious mind. And it's very powerful. It is not limited by your body, right? Sometimes you think about someone in Russia and the person calls you. What is happening? Your subconscious mind is communicating with that person's subconscious mind, right? It is not, it's beyond your physical understanding, physical realm, right? Your subconscious mind and the mind as a whole is spiritual, right? But the subconscious mind communicates it's not limited by time. It's not limited by space, right? I know this is a bit strange to a Christian mind, but everything is supported by scripture, and it would help you. I'm a teacher of the word, right? The conscious mind is what helps the subconscious mind, because subconscious mind is a dummy. It would, anything you say to it, it will say yes. So the conscious mind is what determines what gets to the subconscious mind. So what they do in witchcrafty is to suspend your conscious mind. That means you open the gate so that whatever they want to tell you will go straight to your subconscious mind. And once your subconscious mind receives it, it says yes and begins to support it, right? So in advertising, they call it subliminal advertising. What they do in subliminal advertising is to find something to keep your conscious mind busy and distracted, such that it will not control the gate to your subconscious mind. So once they get that message to your subconscious mind, it becomes an habit. The subconscious mind will receive it and will do everything possible to support that message. Anyway, my time is up.